Hello, brothers and sisters. I hope that you had a wonderful day. I hope that you had a productive one too. Um, Yesterday, I had received some bad news. Well, let's go back. I received two bad news this week. I haven't mentioned one. Monday, my mother was taken to the ER. She was unresponsive. Um, and It turned out to be pneumonia, but it seems like the past two stints with the pneumonia has been pretty severe, and so please keep my mom's names in the prayers if you are a member of the church. Um, just go ahead and add Kevin's mom um, to the prayer rolls. I would appreciate it. I know she's getting up in years. She's 76 years old, and I know she won't be with me much longer, but I'd still like to have her a wee bit longer than and that's why I've been thinking of trying to find a way for me to get close, be able to move closer to them. It's hard. But the other bad news, and this isn't as bad, but it's sad. One of my favorite places to visit, Evermore. It's a medieval slash D&D themed theme park, and they closed their doors today or yesterday, and it's sad to see such creative places go. I'm sure a lot of the vendors are wondering what they're going to do, what's going to happen next. There was two people one person I got to meet, and another one who I wanted to meet when he was here. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance because the line when we got there was half an hour long, and when the young lady that I was with, when we decided to leave, it was still about half an hour long. But the two people I have to mention Tank Tolman first, and I'm gonna tag him in this video. I think I saw his videos near the end of COVID, late 2020, early 2021, and those were rough times for me. Being single and having to not be able to go out and visit. Not that I get out much anyways, but I guess they say that being alone during an event during something like this, is harder on introverts, which I am. It's harder for us than for extroverts. But one day I was at a low point. I couldn't see how to improve my life. I couldn't see it, no matter. It could have been right here in front of my face, and I couldn't have seen it. And I was doom strolling through Facebook when I came across this Viking-looking guy with this red beard, acting like a Viking. It was, and he said, stop. And I don't know why, but I actually stopped. He said he understands that I'm going through problems, and told me that I'm stronger than I believed I was. And it actually picked me up. So if Tank Tolman ever sees this, thank you. The next one, his name is Quincy. He owns a fictional tavern. His YouTube channel is Quincy LK. I'll tag him as well. I was going through Tank's videos and I saw him. I saw Tank doing a video with him, sort of. He kind of spliced it. And there was something about Quincy that I had to find him. I enjoyed the little video, and as I was watching it, I felt myself picking myself up better, because I had been feeling pretty low. And as I listened, I mean, he did some amazing videos. His set designs were fantastic, and I have the utmost love and respect for both these gentlemen. And the influence they have on so many people is why I decided to give YouTube channel another try, because I wanted to be like them. I wanted to be able to help people improve their lives, see that things aren't so hopeless. But unlike them, I have something that is, I don't know if either one are Christians or not, but I have the restored gospel. And my goal is to hopefully touch as many lives as Tank Tolman and Quincy do. And I've met Tank in person. I met him at Evermore when I went to see Quincy. I didn't know Tank was going to be there. And I'm sitting in this, or standing in this one place checking out all this cool stuff. And then I heard this, hammer! And my eyes and ears perked up, and I went, and I'm like, I gotta see someone that I don't believe in hero worship. I don't think it's right. But this is a man that helped me. So I do look up to him, even though he's a few years younger than me, but he helped me when I needed it. I think it was God that inspired me to continue going doom strolling, because he knew I'd come across this video and it would help me. God works in, there's some people that hate the term mysterious ways. God's ways are not mysterious, not to him. He knows what he's doing, and we got to give thanks to him. So I thank God for helping me to find Tank Tolman and Quincy both. They're the ones that, even though not directly, they didn't tell me to, you should start doing a YouTube videos. Indirectly, seeing the positive change that they make in people's lives has really been a godsend for me. So I'm gonna try and tag them in this video. Hopefully they see it, and I hope they continue, because their videos mean a lot to many of us. But with that being said, let's get started. Give me 1 second. I gotta refresh my screen. But sorry about the tear works. It's just that when I found out Evermore was closing, it brought a lot of memories of how I started getting into this stuff. And I actually do love the D&D medieval type lifestyle. It's silly. One of my dreams is to build a community that has homes built like the medieval homes with modern techniques. That way, you get your plumbing, you get your all this stuff, but still have a authentic feeling of what it's like to live in the medievals without having to do all the stuff that they did back then. So to me, that it's something that's important, and it's just a dream. Who knows? Maybe God be willing that it could come true. So, with that, we are on King Benjamin, or Mosiah chapter 6. King Benjamin just got done given a masterful discourse that lasted like 3-4 chapters, and there was so much good stuff. If you haven't seen the videos, go back to like second Mosiah chapter 2 to Mosiah chapter 5. So I guess that's 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, and read those. Watch the videos, read those. I think every Christian could actually learn a lot from the King Benjamin discourse, I like to call it. But we come to the end of King Benjamin's proceedings, and at the beginning of verse 1, it says, King Benjamin thought it was expedient to have, after having finished speaking, that he should get the names of everyone who entered into the covenant. And as he sent these out, everyone that covenanted to follow Christ, their name was taken. And this would be no different than when someone gets baptized today. We record their name in our records, stating that they have entered into a covenant with God. This is the church records. And these records are also, when they are baptized, their names are recorded in heaven. And he was quite surprised, and I'm sure that, like me just now, he was brought to tears because of the joy, so much joy that he had to find out that every single adult from the age of, I don't know, say 10 up, all those who could make the covenants did make a covenant to God. Every single person who attended, that could have been thousands of people that heard his name. I mean, could you imagine that? I can imagine what his joy would have been like to um, be able to partake of such joy of knowing that everyone that heard his voice loved it, joined the, took a covenant, and it was amazing. Now, during King Benjamin's discourse, he announced that Mosiah would become king. And right after he took the census of everyone who partook of the covenant, he decided here in verse 3, he said, and it came to pass that when King Benjamin had made an end of all these things, and had consecrated his son to be ruler and king over his people, and given him all the charges concerning the kingdom, and also had appointed priests to teach the people. So King Benjamin here is retiring. He's probably pretty old, and he decides to give the kingdom to his son, consecrates him. I'm not sure what the Jewish ceremonies would be for consecrating a king. If it's anything like when we get ordained, if we get a blessing, oil put over our head, a blessing pronounced upon us, following it would more than likely follow a very Jewish tradition of this. He continues saying that thereby they might hear and know the word, know the commandments of God, and to stir them up in remembrance of the oath which they had made. He dismissed the multitudes, and they returned everyone according to their families to their own houses. So this is the end of the Feast of Tabernacles. Everyone has gone back to their house. Actually, I don't know if that's my assumption. It could be something different. I believe it was the Feast of Tabernacles, but if I'm correct, the Feast of Tabernacles, the tabernacles stay up the entire week. If anyone knows different, please let me know down in the comments. This is interesting stuff. And this is actually a very short chapter. This is only 7 verses long. So, and Mosiah began to reign in his father's stead, and he began to reign in the 30th year of his age. So he was quite young to take over as being king. But then he says, and then King Benjamin causes to be written, and the whole, or I should say, Moroni or Mormon, who's recording this, says that it's been 476 years from the time that Lehi left Jerusalem. And then comes sad news. King Benjamin lived 3 more years and he died. So we have a masterful discourse given by an elderly prophet king, or king prophet, whatever you want to call it, and then he passes away. I bet you there was a huge party when he got there. Everyone wanted to meet him. Everyone that had passed away from the time he was born, think about this. From the time King Benjamin was born, son of King Mosiah, the first King Mosiah, once Benjamin was born, all the people that he had influence, when his father made him king, all the influence he had on the people kind of like Tank Tolman and Quincy, he had a positive influence on their lives for the better. And he helped their lives improve. He worked with them side by side, the king and the beggar, sitting there, tilling the ground together at the same time, working. And I'm sure beggars were a thing then. But kings like this have a tendency of including everyone into their lives. I mean, could you imagine if President Biden, if he went and started gardening with some of the homeless in DC, or if he went and was trying to help clean up the streets, I think he would win over more people that way than whatever he's doing now. I try and avoid the politics, but I use that because he has a chance to make a huge difference. And that's what King Benjamin did, is he made a big difference in the people, in the lives of those who were his subjects. And you got to give kudos to the guy for that. Now, verse 6, and it came to pass that King Mosiah did walk in the ways of the Lord, and did observe his judgment and his statutes, and did keep his commandments in all things whatsoever he commanded him. And then verse 7, the last one, and King Mosiah did cause his people that they should till the earth, and he also himself did till the earth, that he might not become burdensome to his people, that he might do according to that which his father had done in all things. So like King Benjamin, King Mosiah is not the type of king that just sits on his throne all day, giving edicts, giving commands, seeing judgment over the wicked. No, he was the type of person who enjoyed getting his hands dirty. And that's what type of leaders we need. We need leaders that set the example of how to become self-sufficient. And he did this, that thereby he might not become burdensome to his people, that he might do according to that which his father had done in all things. And there was no contention among all his people for the space of 3 years. Can you imagine what, let's say in one city, could you imagine what it would be like if, let's take Salt Lake, for instance, the whole entire Salt Lake Valley. Could you imagine if there was no murders, there was no DUIs, there was no speeding, everyone did things that was for the better of their neighbor. No one got hurt. Well, intentional hurt. Accidents still happen. But there was no contention. Could you imagine what that would be like for the space of 3 years? It baffles the mind, because we're used to a world full of chaos that is unbelievably hard in life to go through. And as you notice at the beginning of this video, I talked about some very personal things for me. It got very emotional for me. And one thing that I see in Quincy and in Tank is that they're men that lead by example. And that's one thing I admire about them. They're like King Benjamin. They lead by example. They're not perfect. Even King Benjamin, he's not perfect. He errs. But they try their best, and that's what we need to do. We need to be an example to the world what type of men and women we need to be. We need to be the example. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for all your subscriptions, all 84 of you. I hope to see that number jump. I would love to see that number jump from 84 to 100 within a month. I would love that. My heart would burst with so much joy. You guys, you make this possible. I love you guys. I have a great love and respect for each one of you. And I want you to know that life is hard, but we have our Father in heaven who is ready there and wanting to listen with us. He wants to talk to us. He wants us to come to him and say, Father, I'm having a bad time and I need some help. I need comfort. I need companionship. It will happen. I have some of the greatest people that I know. I work with an amazing family. We have one of the acupuncturists there. He's a few years younger, but he is an amazing guy. He's very dedicated to his craft of becoming a great acupuncturist, and he's an amazing kid. Some of the patients come in, when they come in, it's like greeting an old friend. And when one doesn't come for a while, you miss them. And when you finally get that call that says, hey, I need some help, what can you do? It brings joy to my heart to be able to help people. I hope you guys get a wonderful sleep tonight. I hope that you are able to have sweet dreams. And we'll see you tomorrow morning again for another scripture of the day.